And welcome back to 3 News. It is 7:30 on your Sunday morning. Hey, the weather is bad, and I just want to note that some churches have canceled in-person services today, so you may want to check on that. They're going to go virtual today because the weather is so bad.
Yeah, and you don't have school today. Obviously, we'll deal with that tomorrow, but there are still a lot of events happening today. Organizations having to make calls on whether to still have things happen today.
Right, and I think the main messaging, Anthony and I have been getting a lot of texts like, should I do this? Should I travel this?
Right.
Travel here? The big messaging is it's not really here yet. It's here now. It's starting to move in. But we're expecting 1 to 4 inches by morning. Here we are in the morning. We've got a general 1 to 4 inches outside. But the snowfall rates are really going to start to pick up as we go over the next couple hours. And then the real bulk of this storm system is going to start to move in here as we go through time. All right, let's take you to the maps here. We'll go to weather 3 if we could. And we've got our weather impact alert that goes all day today. This is a marathon-like snow. This isn't all coming at once. It's just going to be steady throughout the day, and that rate's going to continue to pick up. 71 at Ridge Road right now, snow-covered bridges. Snow-covered 71, but it is passable outside. We're not dealing with a ton of snow yet. As I mentioned, it's just snowy outside. 12 degrees, though. Boy, is it cold. Notice how the shades of blue have darkened up here, right? We started with the light stuff. Now we're getting into some of this moderate to at times heavy snow. This is when that snow is going to start to pile up. Cleveland area, moderate snow right now that stretches out in Ashtabula, Lake Geauga counties. Akron, you've got a moderate snow. It's at times moderate to heavy, getting into Medina right now. And then you look down towards the south, southern areas of Wayne County, just south of Worcester, south of Ashland, as you get down towards Mohican State Park, dealing with some heavier snow right now. That band extends right along US 30, going through Canton right now. You've got some of the heaviest snow here in Northeast Ohio. This storm's massive. We talked about that. The impacts are far felt. We've got 2,000 miles of winter storm warnings. And for us specifically here in Northeast Ohio, we've got about another 900 miles of snow. So it's not going to end anytime soon. This is a zone right here that'll work in over the next few hours. That'll bring us some heavier snowfall rates as we go throughout the morning. All right, tracking it hour by hour and talking totals, let's send it over to Anthony.
Yeah, Matt, we're in the thick of things right now, and the snow started a little bit sooner than expected, at least to the going forecast compared to 24 hours ago. So we recorded at least 2 inches from Hopkins Airport. Now we're going to quickly add on to that. And when it comes to that window of moderate to heavy snow, that's going to be likely from south to north, I'll say between now and I'll say 5 o'clock for this evening. So we have a decent 9 to 10 hour stretch here of dealing with some moderate heavy snow rates. That's going to be the biggest impact as we go throughout the morning. Here's 9 o'clock. We're in the deep blues, folks. This is moderate to heavy snow that will be falling in widespread. It's going to be steady throughout the late morning, approaching midday. Here's lunchtime. We're looking at some moderate snow bands. Again, we have the deeper blues. That's going to be likely. So those moderate to heavy snow bands are going to be working in and out. It's just not going to be steady. Light snowfall is going to be steady. It's just going to be that uptick that could be lasting upwards to 30 minutes to an hour at best. And that's where we're going to really stack up the snow for parts of the area. This is 5 o'clock. I just want to show you all throughout the daylight hours, we're going to be sticking with the snow. So we've already recorded 2 inches from the airport. We're going to be adding on 1 to 2 as we get closer to 9 o'clock, an additional 3 to 5 as we get closer to midday. And then as we get closer to sunset for this evening, 5 and 6 o'clock, now we're looking at additional 5 to 8 to 9 inches plus of snowfall and more snow as this storm, at least the bulk of the snow, it gets out of here as we approach 9 and 10 o'clock. So full timeline of the snow and the full timeline of the snow totals. And we have more snow. Lake effect. Don't forget about that as we get closer to your Monday. We'll time that out as well.
All right, thank you, Anthony. This morning, Ohio is under a state of emergency as this winter storm moves through.
And Candace Hare is live with us this morning from downtown Cleveland with the latest. Candace, last time we saw you, we saw the crews were out there working hard. What's going on right now?
Good morning, Dave and Danita. Yes, downtown Cleveland is where I am right now. And if you take a look behind me, you'll get a look at Public Square. Beautiful lights out here. Hopefully this is a beauty that you're really enjoying indoors because you don't want to be out here right now. I know we say this all the time when we get this kind of winter weather, but the roads not where you want to be, and it's pretty chilly out here as well. But we mentioned people out here working. I can tell you right now, I want you to look over here to your left, and we just had someone come through on a plow on the sidewalk, and you can see what a difference that makes, right? On one side, all of that snow on the ground. On the other side, you can see that concrete. So they're out here doing things, doing the best that they can to make things as as good as possible, especially as we're expecting more snow coming throughout the rest of the day. But it's coming down at a pretty persistent clip. We've heard Matt and Anthony use that word, and that's what we felt like all morning. It hasn't really let up at all. It's been coming at that same steady clip, and you can see the effect it's had on our car that's been out here through the morning. But a pretty soft snow, one that comes off your car pretty easily at this point in time. So really, we're out here, we're seeing how things are going, and what we've noticed is that what you're seeing is what you're continuing to get. No breaks, no let-ups, and we'll have to remain to be seen what happens as the morning continues to roll on. Back to you.
Candace, thank you so much. Also on the roads this morning, our Kristen Moran, who's tracking those conditions in our more southern communities as the snow begins to ramp up this morning. Let's check in with her right now. Kristen, how are things looking where you are? Tell us where you are.
Hi, Danita. Yeah, so we're in Fairlawn right now, just off of I-77. And I have to say, if you have a second to just step back and look at it, it's actually really pretty. You almost feel like you're in a Hallmark movie. But on the flip side, it is very cold out here. And when my photographer and I were making our way down here to Summit County, it was a continuous snowfall, very steady. Take a look at I-77, though. You can see, obviously, it is passable, but not perfect, as ODOT says. And they have 275 trucks, plow trucks, across Northeast Ohio, working 12-hour shifts all across the weekend. And one thing to note here is that they said in temperatures like this, the salt is not as effective. So what they do is mix the salt brine with something called beet heat, and that's something that is able to kind of break down what you're driving on the roads and able to navigate a little bit better. But again, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be passable. But we've been seeing that steady snowfall all morning long. And Danita and Dave, for the record, I just want to say something. This is the season where people are like, hey, get this girl a hat. I promise you, with my head of hair, it keeps me warm and I have earmuffs on. So I don't want anybody to worry, but it is definitely chilly out here, but I got my head of hair to keep me warm.
Oh, you got a lot of hair to warm, but you know Northeast Ohio viewers, they are typing it in right now as you speak. Put a hat on, girl.
So true.
Put a hat on.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Keep enjoying that movie.
Yes,
all right?
yes,
All
yes.
right, Kristen, thanks. As we continue to track this weather impact alert all morning long, we want to explain where conditions currently stand.
And right now, level 1 snow emergencies have been declared in several Northeast Ohio communities, and this includes Ashland, Erie, Holmes, Lorain, and Summit County. But Matt, some of us hear this, we don't know what it means. So how is this storm going so far in comparison to what we were expecting?
Yeah, Danita, we talked about this a little bit off air in the commercial break. Anthony and I were discussing with you guys that this storm is behaving so far as expected. I mean, we're expecting 1 to 4 inches here this morning. There's not a ton of snow outside this morning. We've had some of the heavier totals down towards the south, but now is where we're starting to get into it, and we're going to really see things go downhill quickly this morning through the midday through afternoon, as Anthony was showing you there in the model trend. But overall, it's interesting because the models are putting out 10 to 15 inches of snow, right? But our snowflakes are really, really tiny right now. There's not a ton of moisture with it because we're so dry. So it's going to take a lot of snow to really get 14 inches of tiny flakes to add up, as opposed to lake effect snow where you get the big fluffy flakes that really add up in a hurry. But so far, everything's going as expected.
Yeah, it's been really fascinating to watch this and learn as Matt and Anthony have been teaching us. But Matt, how is the storm impacting? You had mentioned the word south. How is it impacting southern viewers compared to the rest of Northeast Ohio?
Yeah, so this isn't a lake effect issue at all. We've been saying that all week. Areas of Tuscarawas, Carroll counties down towards Millersburg, even the Canton area, you're going to end up with some of the higher totals out of this. And you've already seen some of the heavier snowfall rates this morning. Those areas, you remove snow just as well as we do in the snow belt. However, it's just a little bit more of a slow go as that hilly terrain kind of kicks in effect down in Holmes and Tuscarawas County. So southern folks, yeah, they're going to get hit just as hard. Good news about this, no ice with this. We don't have an ice storm, and power outages are going to remain low because this isn't a heavy wet snow and there's not a lot of wind. It's just a lot of snow to remove here over the next 36 to 48 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I know that's what my wife was worried about, and a lot of people was the power.
outage.
Power stays on,
We're
okay,
good.
we can deal with it.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.